Hi everyone, Mr. Lai here. So today I want to talk about the Engel curve, which is a concept that you need to learn for the income elasticity of demand. So let's take a look at this slide here where I have the Engel curve presented. As you can see, it's kind of like a backward bending curve. What you have is on the axis, on the vertical axis, you've got income per week, so income, and then on the horizontal axis, you have the goods. So in this case, it's quantity of chocolate, yum yum. Now, as you can see, different slopes represents different income elasticities of demand. And so from A to B, the income elasticity is more than 1, so it's a luxury good. And if it's less than 1, which is from B to C, then it is a necessity. C to D simply is also a necessity where the YED is equal to 0. And when it from D to E, it exhibits the characteristics of a inferior good because the YED is less than 0. As you can see, when the income increases from $3,500 to $4,500, then the quantity demanded actually decreases from 90 to 80. Now, in the IB exam for the paper 3 or even maybe the paper 2, you might be given the Engel curve and you will be asked to calculate the income elasticity of demand. So let's just try it here from what happens from A to B. So here, remember the YED is simply the quantity changes in quantity demanded over the percentage change in income. And so when the income increases from 1,000 to 1,500 from A to B, okay, this is a 50% increase. And when this 50% of income increase, this leads to a 75% increase in the quantity of chocolates demanded. As you can see, 40 increases to 70 units per week. And what we do is we put 75% over 50%, and that gives us 1.5. As 1.5 is larger than 1, then we know that it is a normal good because as the income increases, the quantity of demanded for the good increases. And we also know that it is a luxury good because it is more than 1. Okay? Simply meaning that each percentage change in quantity demanded is met with a greater percentage change in quantity demanded, which is not surprising when we really think about luxury goods intuitively. And if you've looked what we've done here, we've simply worked out the different income elasticities for different income points from A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to E. A to B we've talked about, and when the income increases by 50%, then the YED is 1.5, meaning that it is a normal good and it's a luxury good. However, when we move from B to C, okay, the YED is less than 1, it is 0.43, meaning that it is only a normal good and it is a necessity good as well because it is irresponsive to the change in income. Okay, so and the intuition behind this is that for necessity, such as toilet rolls, regardless of how much richer you are, you kind of reach to a point where you really don't need that many more, right? You're not going to buy a whole lot more, and so that's why you're going to be income inelastic. You're not going to be responsive to the change in income. And here from C to B, it is also a necessity. And here you've reached the point that you've bought all the toilet rolls that you need, and therefore, regardless of how much richer you are, okay, you're not going to buy a single additional roll of toilet paper anymore because you've just got stock loads and truckloads of it. And from D to E, as you can see, it is an inferior good. Why? Because the YED here is negative. Okay, it is negative 0.39, meaning that an increase in the income will lead to a fall in the quantity demanded for that good. In this case, chocolates. Perhaps it's a cheaper type of chocolate, and you no longer consume it because you've substituted and bought, like perhaps more expensive Godiva-like chocolates. So this is the kind of an example of how you may be asked in exam to work out the YEDs with the numbers given. And so it is very important to understand and remember the equation for working out the income elasticity of demand. One more question that you may be asked is they might simply give you the segments A to B and B to C without any numbers, and you will be asked whether the good for different segments is a luxury good or is it a necessity. And the way to work it out is to extend the line as I've done here with the dotted lines and see where it hits. So let's say that I've been given A to B with no numbers, so I can't calculate the income elasticity. All I need to do is to extend it A to B and see where it hits, okay, on the axis. So if it hits the vertical axis, then it is a luxury good, okay, because the nature of the numbers means that you're working off with a higher base for the quantity change in income, meaning that it is more income elastic. However, if you look at B2C, and you were given just the B2C and you weren't given any numbers, all you need to do is just to extend the dotted line, and as you can see, it hits the horizontal axis, meaning that it is a necessity and it is income inelastic. Okay, so this is two things to look out for if you were being asked in the exam. Okay, all the very best, everyone. Slay.